If only... Nah, that won't work either. Hey, Silas, you specialize in human souls, right?
Yes, that's correct. It was and still is my main field of research. What is it that you want to know?
How are they so potent with magic? I've heard stories from Doc about human mages, and it's beyond what anyone I know can do.
There is a difference between monster and human souls at the most fundamental level that explains everything. Humans are most fascinating creatures, and their souls have so many interesting properties one cannot describe that easily.
Go on.
Monster souls consist of limited amounts of magic and effectively sustain the magic background of the world. If my research is correct, throughout the monster's life cycle, its soul constantly releases energy. Human souls are the complete opposite. They can absorb magic from their surroundings and are not restricted by any limits. Or rather, the boundaries are set only by their own morals. Even if it's just a theory, the DT extraction machine is the best, albeit the only example of such theory brought to life, thanks to the talents of Benjamin and your father.
So we basically made a human soul?
Not really, Sans. The DT extraction machine is merely an imitation of a complicated process. Even if we have a container for magic and traits, there are no other parts that would make it a real soul.
Huh. Well, that's discouraging. I figured if there's a way to multiply already gathered traits, with the use of natural magic sources we could speed up the whole process. But since monster souls are the original source of magic, it doesn't seem possible now.
Have some patience, Sans. We have enough fallen to supply our research, not only with traits, but also test subjects. This amount should allow us to study how these traits affect monsters soon enough. Besides, even Dr. Gaster took some time off the job. You should too.
That's true. Which is surprising, really. The old man is the worst case of a workaholic I've ever...
Sans? 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 Are you alright?
Yeah. I'm really alright.
That's not good. He's not going to like it. Doc? Wake up, Doc.
Salem, what time is it?
Not so late. It's just 8 in the evening. No rest with the little one, I presume.
Pretty much. So, what brings you here?
Work. I've made the usual check on the core. It's overheating. The air pressure is too high, and the water from waterfalls no longer provides the necessary temperature levels.
Curses. We must make haste. Contact Benjamin, explain the situation to him. I have an idea that might work, but we need approval from the King and Queen.
What do you have in mind?
We'll need to get in touch with Snowden locals. That place might be of great use in solving an issue like this.
I understand. Hello, Benjamin. Sorry to bother you on your vacation, but there's a thing that needs solving ASAP.
The core issues weren't a surprise, since the facility still required some improvements, and our progress was still minor back then. We'd need decades to get enough of any trait to continue the experiment. Or so we thought.
going down!
Gaster! I've just got the news. So many. Too many. And more are arriving. I heard the reports. It was a rock slide, wasn't it? The underground currents must have softened the mountain base. Yes, sadly for us, when it happens in the city under said mountain, it brings disastrous results. But why so sudden? Was it because of the core? You guys did reroute the underground river from Snowden. What if we're to blame for this one? Sans, listen. We made sure our interference wouldn't cause any problems, both short and long term. No matter how much we want to take responsibility for something like this, there's no one to blame. Sometimes bad things like this just happen. You look terrible. Maybe you should take a day or two off? I'm sure the team can handle the extract. No, Sans. Monsterkind needs me and my skills more than ever. We haven't had such casualties since the war. It is a dreadful tragedy for the kingdom. And yet the monsters are handing bodies over to us instead of offering them a proper burial or spending the last moments with them. In this hall, thanks to the kindness of all their families, we have all that we need to finish our initial trait gathering. I'm not putting my own well-being over their sacrifice. Here, gather everyone. We need to work almost non-stop if we're to make the most out of the situation. What about you?
I'll be joining shortly.